In this video, I'm going to show you great and ideal teams for Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. Instead of showing just one team of 6 or 3 Pokemon for a journey, I'll showcase 4 teams centered around each of the 3 starters and a 4th extra Pokemon. Like before, there's a handful of rules we must follow for this challenge. No trade evolutions, no post-game Pokemon, no version exclusives unless they're temporary members. 4th members are okay, but only for challenges the main team can't beat, such as using HMs. So now that I explained the rules, let's jump right into this challenge. Before we begin, we'll have to get some temporary Pokemon that can use HM so our main team won't lose their valuable move slots. Other temporary Pokemon will include certain species that'll help counter what our main team can't face easily. For all 3 teams, we'll catch an extra flying type that'll fly us to towns at our convenience. We'll catch an extra grass type to cut bushes down, and we'll get one of the Hitmons to help us push boulders aside. But on the Venusaur team, we'll catch a water type to help us swim across bodies of water. As for the other temporary mons, we'll get a Mankey to help us counter Brock and Yellow version. We'll get Eradicate to help out the Venusaur team before getting our normal type. We'll get a Fearow to help out the Blastoise team before getting our Psychic type, and we'll get a Weeping Bell to help out the Charizard team before getting our water type. Those temporary members will help our main team get across challenges that they won't be able to. Beginning with the ideal team of Yellow, I'm going to do an unexpected move and not choose Pikachu as my starter. The reason for that is simple. While Pikachu might be very fast, it suffers from being extremely frail and having middling attack and special. What also doesn't help Pikachu is having little to no coverage without event moves. And to make matters worse, Yellow version has code programmed where Pikachu refuses the Thunderstone. That's right, even if you wanted the increased power of Raichu, you can't get it thanks to Pikachu rejecting the Thunderstone. So as a result, we'll go with the rather surprising replacement to the series mascot. The real replacement for Pikachu on this team will be another Pokemon who was going to be the series mascot, Clefable. What makes Clefable great is having decent to good stats along with having a ton of coverage options. The way to get Clefable is kinda easy. When you make it to Mount Moon, head to the below 1st or 2nd floor. At that place, you'll have a good chance to find Clefairy. During your journey, train Clefairy until it learns whatever move you want, then give it the Moonstone to become Clefable. A great moveset for Clefable will be Body Slam as a go-to move, letting Clefable do good damage and even paralyze most targets to outspeed it. Bubble Beam and Thunderbolt is coverage at first, but Psychic replacing Bubble Beam later on. Either way, those moves help Clefable hit hard against many targets. Also, Light Screen to help Clefable withstand strong special attacks from Psychic types. Up next, we have the triple-headed mole, Dugtrio. What makes Dugtrio good is having decent attack along with very high speed. The way to get Dugtrio is very simple. Once you make it to Vermilion City, head southeast and make it to the Diglett Cave. Enter that place and capture a Diglett, also train it to level 26 to get Dugtrio. A good moveset for Dugtrio will be Slash and Earthquake as its main moves, letting Dugtrio hit hard against fire, electric, and poison types. Though, only Earthquake can work against the ghosts. Rock Slide is coverage to help Dugtrio against the flying types that avoid its earthquakes, and Toxic to help Dugtrio wear down targets that withstand its attacks. Last up, we have the Smug Jellyfish, Tentacruel. What makes it smug is having good stats and high special, letting Tentacruel get the jump on many opponents and leaving them tangled up. The way to get Tentacruel is also very easy. After you've earned Koga's Gym Badge, get a water Pokemon and surf on the ocean to get Tentacool. Then train up Tentacool to level 30 to get Tentacruel. A good moveset for Tentacruel would be Surf as a go-to move, letting Tentacruel hit hard against fire, rock, and ground types. Ice Beam is coverage to help Tentacruel hit hard against dragons. Wrap is a support move to stun opponents and wear them down slowly. Also, Barrier is another support move to bolster Tentacruel's low defense to much higher levels. Moving on to the lesser starter, we have Charizard. Like I said in earlier videos, Charizard is the worst starter in Kanto due to not doing so good against the first 2 gyms, and the 2nd gym being super effective against fire. Sure, things might get easier by the 3rd gym onwards, but Charizard won't do good against the first Elite 4 member thanks to most of her team being water types. The way to get Charizard is simple. Soon after you begin the game, Professor Oak takes you to his lab. Once you make it there, choose the Pokeball containing Charmander, then while on your journey, train Charmander up to level 16 to get Charmeleon, and train again to level 36 to get Charizard. A good moveset for Charizard will be Slash as a main move, doing great damage while always getting critical hits. Fire Blast is another go-to move, letting Charizard inflict high damage along with a good chance to burn any target. Earthquake is coverage allowing Charizard to hit hard against many opponents in Kanto, and Toxic is support to help Charizard stall out tougher opponents a lot easier. Next up, we have the Aquatic Fox, Vaporeon. What makes Vaporeon a great teammate is its great special and huge bulk. The way to get Vaporeon is easy. Once you make it to Celadon City, go behind one of the tall buildings. Walk up the staircase and make it to the teacher's room and you'll pick Eevee. Then give it a Water Stone to evolve it into Vaporeon. A good moveset for Vaporeon would be Surf as its main move, letting it hit hard against Fire, Rock, and Ground types. Bubble Beam is backup in case Surf runs out of power points. Ice Beam is coverage to help Vaporeon hit hard against dragons. And Acid Armor is support to let Vaporeon withstand physical attacks far better. Third and last, we have the Crazy Spectre, Haunter. What makes Haunter great is having good speed and high special along with great coverage. Another thing helping Haunter is its Ghost type, letting it be immune to super strong normal moves. The way to get Haunter is once again very simple. Once you've beaten Giovanni at his Celadon hideout and after you've gained the Sylph Scope, head to Lavender Town. When you make it there, head to the Pokemon Tower's 3rd floor and capture a Ghastly. Then during your journey, train up Ghastly to level 25 to get Haunter. Also, it can't evolve any further without being traded back and forth. A great moveset for Haunter will be Thunderbolt and Psychic as its go-to moves, letting it hit hard against many targets in Kanto. Mega Drain is both support and coverage, letting it drain the enemy's health and hit decently hard against ground types. Also, Nightshade is another support move, letting Haunter do level-based damage for more guaranteed hits. Moving on to the middle choice of starters, we have Blastoise. Like I said earlier, Blastoise is the middle choice due to doing great against the first 2 gyms offensively and defensively, though kinda struggling against the 3rd and 4th gyms. But during the Kanto journey, Blastoise is a rather helpful starter and a great water type with great coverage. The way to get Blastoise is very easy. Soon after you begin the game and get taken to Oak's lab, choose the Pokeball containing Squirtle. Then during your journey, train up Squirtle to level 16 to get Wartortle, then train again to level 36 to get Blastoise. A great moveset for Blastoise would be Surf as its main move, letting it hit hard against Fire, Rock, and Ground types. Earthquake and Blizzard is coverage, helping it stand up to opponents that normally threaten it. Also Substitute is a support move, letting Blastoise withstand strong attacks far better. Up next, we have the spoon-bending Psychic, Kadabra. What makes Kadabra great is having high speed and special, making it a powerful glass cannon. Another thing working for Kadabra is the Psychic typing, meaning it has no weakness to worry about. In the wild, getting Kadabra is tricky, but it's far simpler another way. By the time you get to Celadon, head east and enter one of the buildings to get the coin case. Then go to the game corner and get 180 or 200 coins, and then enter the building next door to get Abra. Train up Abra to level 16 to get Kadabra, and just like Haunter, it can't evolve any further due to requiring a trade. A good moveset for Kadabra would be Psychic as its main move, helping it utilize its special to the fullest. Psybeam is backup in case Psychic runs out of power points. Seismic Toss is a support move, helping Kadabra do level-based damage for more guaranteed results, and Recover to help Kadabra heal off any damage it withstood in battle. Best and last, we have the legendary Thunderbird, Zapdos. Not much needed to explain why Zapdos ranks so high, but Electric and Flying complement one another amazingly. The way to get Zapdos is a little tricky one way, but easy with another way. After you've beaten Giovanni a second time at Silphco, you'll get the Master Ball. Once you've gotten Koga's gym badge, surf over to the power plant. After you make it through the interior of the power plant, you'll find Zapdos and have the choice of capturing it with either a Great Ball or a Master Ball, though the latter makes getting Zapdos far simpler. Also, Zapdos can't evolve. A good moveset for Zapdos will be Drill Peck and Thunderbolt as go-to moves, helping Zapdos have great offensive synergy against many opponents. Double Edge is backup in case Drill Peck runs out of power points, and Mimic to let Zapdos copy one of the opponent's moves. Saving the best team for last, we have the best starter of Kanto, Venusaur. Like I said earlier, Venusaur is the best starter in Kanto due to being strong against the first 2 gyms, resisting the 3rd and 4th gym along with doing decent to good against many opponents. The way to get Venusaur is simple. Soon after you begin the game, Professor Oak takes you to his lab. Once you make it there, choose the Pokeball containing Bulbasaur. Then while on your journey, train up Bulbasaur to level 16 to get Ivysaur, and train again to level 32 to get Venusaur. A good moveset for Venusaur would be like I mentioned earlier. Razor Leaf is its main move, does great damage and gets high critical hits. Body Slam is coverage to help Venusaur do neutral damage to many opponents that resist its moves. Leech Seed is its best support move to help Venusaur wear down bulky targets that resist its moves. Also, Sleep Powder is another great support move, allowing Venusaur some extra turns to drain the enemy's health with Leech Seed or to chip them down with other moves. Next up, we have the triple-headed bird, Dodrio. It's a great bird because of its high attack and speed, making it a formidable glass cannon. The way to get Dodrio is simple as well. After heading to Celadon City, go to the route west. Cut down the tree and head into the tall grass to find and catch a Doduo. Then train it to level 31 to get Dodrio. A good moveset for Dodrio would be Drill Peck and Double Edge as go-to moves, letting it make the most of its high attack and hit hard against grass types that Venusaur struggles against. Hyper Beam is another main move in case Dodrio's other attacks don't do good enough. And Toxic is a support move to help Dodrio chip down bulkier opponents. Third and best, we have the Snowy Siren, Jinx. What makes Jinx great is that both of its types are special types, which greatly complement Jinx's good special a lot. Jinx is the hardest Pokemon to obtain in all these teams. After getting the Pokeflute and getting one of the 2 Snorlax out of the way, walk further south and get the Super Rod. Then fly to Celadon and fish at the pond to capture Poliwhirl. Once you've done that, fly back to Cerulean and trade with the old man to get a Jinx. Also, Jinx can't evolve. A good moveset for Jinx will be Psychic and Ice Beam as go-to moves, letting Jinx hit hard against many opponents in Kanto. Also, the latter being very useful against Dragon types. Bubble Beam is coverage to help Jinx not be threatened by Fire types as much, and Seismic Toss is a support move, helping Jinx make better damage output with his special moves. Finally, we finished redoing the ideal teams of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. While Kanto is a bit more limited without version exclusives and post-game Pokemon, it still had a lot of good options. Great moves along with strong and skilled Pokemon really help with building teams for any journey in Kanto. So now that I've finished covering teams centered around all 3 starters and a team centered around a replacement starter, I'll be covering ideal teams of Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal next. Despite there being 100 extra Pokemon in Gen 2, there's a surprisingly small amount of new Pokemon readily available for an average playthrough. That alone makes Crystal the more preferred version of Johto to play, and it really shows in-game. Hey look, that's all I got for now. If you enjoyed this revision of all 3 ideal teams of Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, please give it a like and comment telling me what you enjoyed the most about this video. Until next time, have a good day.